The latest edition of Rwanda-Zimbabwe Business Forum followed the two previous editions held in 2021 and 2022 in Kigali and Harare, respectively. It explored business and investment opportunities in the two countries through various interactive sessions across dynamic priority sectors poised to contribute to Africa's economic growth. On this episode of Doing Business in Rwanda, we'll dive into the complex kinship between the public and private sectors of the two nations. I'm your host, Derek Mohanji. In the third edition of Rwanda-Zimbabwe Business Forum, over 90 business leaders from Zimbabwe engaged with the Rwandan private sector to explore trade and investment opportunities. Spearheaded by the Rwanda Development Board and private sector stakeholders, the program focused on key areas such as agriculture, construction, manufacturing, mining, finance, e-government services, and education. These sectors promise growth given the healthy trade relations between the two nations over the past years. Just in the last 4 years, Rwanda has seen a 52% increase in imports from Zimbabwe, with exports to Zimbabwe also rising by 8%. Additionally, more than 8 Rwandan companies have established a presence in Zimbabwe across sectors including energy, IT, agro-processing, recreation, and general trade.
We are seeing a great number of businesses from Zimbabwe opening operations in Rwanda and vice versa. We have seen our bilateral trade increase more than 58% since the first version of the Rwanda-Zimbabwe Business Forum. And we have seen the movement of people continue to grow. Zimbabwean professionals coming to work in Rwanda in various professions, particularly in education, in ICT, in finance, and others, increasing in large numbers. Rwanda, of course, is open to many Africans as tourists, but also for doing business. And this is being demonstrated here today. Yeah. So the event is really a platform for both ways. Rwandan businesses are keen to learn about opportunities for doing business in Zimbabwe and vice versa. And so for Rwanda, we are showcasing opportunities that we have in finance, for example, the Kigali International Finance Center. We are showcasing the opportunities that it provides for international finance companies to domicile and work in Rwanda. We are showcasing tourism cooperation between tour operators in Rwanda and Zimbabwe to target international tourists that come to both destinations. We are building partnerships where tour operators put packages that combine both destinations. We are looking at agriculture and agro-processing, a sector where both countries have got enormous experience. They can leverage off of each other. So far, over the last 2 years, we have seen Zimbabwe companies establish operations here in Rwanda, whether it's in dairy or in fruit and vegetable production and processing. We are keen to leverage all those in energy, ICT, digital businesses, fintech, and other forms of technologies. So there is a great opportunity here, and businesses are going to be looking for their own opportunities. You know, when interactions begin, they see opportunities where you and I would not see an opportunity for business. Mining is one sector that Rwanda sees an opportunity to partner with Zimbabwe, particularly focusing on expertise. As you know, Zimbabwe has for many years, longer than Rwanda, established strong training institutions for mining professionals, whether it's geologists, mining engineers, environmentalists, processing, and other types of professions in geosciences. And as we continue to grow further the mining sector in Rwanda, the demand for expertise increases. We aim to professionalize mining, and to grow the capacity of professionals is very key. So yes, mining sector is a very important one for the two countries to collaborate on. Yeah. As you have witnessed, the growth of ICTs has been really as an enabler to change the way business is done in other sectors. And so as we attract businesses in this sector here in Rwanda, we are looking at the intersection of ICT with other sectors, whether it's in agriculture, whether in fintech, whether it's in trade generally, online trading, and other opportunities. So we are not seeing ICT as a sector, a standalone sector, but rather as a technology platform that can be leveraged to add value to other sectors that traditionally has not had an interaction with modern technologies. Well, Rwanda flies almost daily to Harare, and that makes it a lot easier to move between our two countries. And with a no visa requirement to travel to Rwanda, that makes it even easily accessible.
The potential that lies with Rwanda's booming economy is an attraction to many investors to tap into the vast opportunities within the emerging market. And this edition of Rwanda-Zimbabwe private sector engagement came as a result of the outcomes of the first and second forum, with more focus now being on trade and investments.
I'll just start on services. I think it's a key feature. If you recall, we managed to also have about 150 teachers come through here, and that's an export of a service, which is quite good. And we've had a number of companies, especially very strong in that. At one point, we're the biggest exporter in Africa of the same. And the good thing is we have a very good geographical location to that. Our weather makes our goods for horticulture very, very unique. And most of our exports are going to Europe and the UK. So there's massive potential on the same. If you recall, a couple of weeks ago, there was the issue of our blueberry market growing. I don't know if you know blueberries. Yes, it's a superfood, high in nutrients and low in calories, so it's a hit. Mm-hmm. So if you want to eat very fresh, organic and good blueberries, come to Zimbabwe. You will not regret it. But also, that goes without saying, our citrus, mashed in sugar snap peas, macadamia, just to mention a few, it's a place to be. So we are trying to work out the logistics and cargo to make sure that we lend the goods competitively here in Rwanda for us to export. As we speak right now, about 85% of our exports for fresh produce go to Europe. So I'm saying Rwanda is just next door. And we've got flights, Rwanda Air flies there, so why don't we take advantage of the cargo space that is available and we grow from there? Alluding to the fact that we've got a number of our Zimbabweans who are here, who are also assisting in the same. In Zimbabwe, we've got a School of Mining, and also our universities are very strong in terms of that, so there's much that can happen between the two of us. And remember, we also have got a growing and thriving mining sector. I think our target is to achieve 12 billion as a mining sector, so a lot has been happening, and that has been done by the resources in terms of our people that have been there. If you want to come to a country with skilled labor, come to Zimbabwe. Excellent. Please do. And also peaceful like Rwanda, come to Zimbabwe. So we need to work together because we've got a lot in common. This is the third leg, and we're going to have a fourth leg next year in Zimbabwe. So we're inviting all participants to come through. As I alluded to my colleagues, I think when the gorilla naming ceremony happens, I think this time we also want to see some of them being named in Shona and Ndebele to strengthen our partnership. But equally, when they come to Zimbabwe, we've got a lot waiting for them in terms of tourism. As I said also, double counting is allowed in tourists. When a tourist comes here, it doesn't stop him to go into Zimbabwe. When a tourist comes to Zimbabwe, it doesn't stop him or her to come to Rwanda. So let's make sure that we take advantage of those synergies by the aeroplanes that we have to make sure that we grow tourism, we grow trade, and we grow investments between our two countries.
The success of the first and second phases have culminated into the third phase, which also sets way to focus on the agriculture and agribusiness on promoting trade.
So you find the young generation who think agriculture is for the poor, agriculture is for the dropout, like you rightly said. But in Zimbabwe, you find in the last decade, people have really realized that agriculture is a good business. You make money out of agriculture. So even up to now, they scramble even for land. Our degree program on crop science, you'll find every year it's fully subscribed. Our students want to learn, and the good thing is the diversity of our students. You'll find those who are just completed their higher education, Some who are already doing farming, they are enrolling so that they advance themselves in terms of actual knowledge. So I think the uptake of agriculture in Zimbabwe has really increased because people have realized that agriculture has a big future, because people used to think that agriculture is just maybe growing maize, but now there's fish farming, which is very popular, even apiary beekeeping, you have cattle ranching. It's so diverse, and the young generation is really liking it because, for example, those growing tobacco, they are making money, a lot of money out of it, and the other youth are also liking it. So I think the future is really bright. There is a really mentality shift going on, and I want to believe Rwanda is also the same.
This forum scope is not limited to agriculture business, but also tourism companies see it as a beneficial platform.
Even beyond agriculture, tourism, we also have an intention to do agro-tourism as a business, because I understand also Rwanda is big in that area. So those are some of the opportunities we are also looking for, trying to identify various opportunities from the various businesses exhibiting at this business forum.
So Rwanda has been amazing. We used them for all our delegates that were coming, and we also use them for our clients, not only for seeing cultural sites, but also hosting events.
Honestly, because it's our first time in Rwanda, we came as an empty canvas, and we're like, okay, Rwanda, paint us. And it's been exciting. So our first day, and we've managed to have linkages. We linked with 2 different companies that are willing, we've spoken about them exporting raw materials from Rwanda and us doing the same, because we realize there are things that are easily available in Zimbabwe, but they're not found in Rwanda. Then there are things that are available in Rwanda. For example, avocado oil, there's a lot of it in Rwanda. So being able to import that from Zimbabwe, from Rwanda, is amazing. Then you find in Zimbabwe, we've got a lot of natural oils from our trees. There's one called Zimenia, there's another one called Marula, and you can't find that here. Like I said, we already made 2 companies. So instead of probably making the products in Zimbabwe, we'll be looking at actually having a factory and shops here in Rwanda, where we actually use raw materials from Rwanda, and we share knowledge and skills of turning a herb into a final product like an elixir or a serum. So it's not just, hey, where we got these products, let's sell you to, we're going to sell them to you, but we're also going to come with the knowledge and the techniques of taking a product from A, B, C, D until it's a final product that is tested and that is suitable for use.
And that concludes this episode of Doing Business in Rwanda, where we have explored the private sector's role in driving innovative investment opportunities in alignment with Rwanda-Zimbabwe bilateral relations. I've been your host, Derek Mohanji.